We are at Big South Fork. We came off of Duncan Hollow Road, went up the Archie Smith Road, heading out to the Angel Falls Overlooks. It's a good brisk day. Heavy snow just a few days ago, so not totally melted off. The one story that always fascinated me was over 30 years ago when I first did this trail. Seemingly out of nowhere in the middle of a wilderness was a single gravestone. It's almost shocking to see it. And name on the stone was Archie Smith. Didn't know much about it till years later. Finally able to do a lot of research and found out that Archie was the infant son of a couple named Alford and Elva Smith. They had a cabin here on this ridge. Had 9 children. Little Archie died shortly after birth of pneumonia. But again, the shocking part was just finding a single grave out here by itself. Began to wonder why that was, and Alford worked for Stearns Coal and Timber. He was gone through the week, and I can imagine the difficulty Elva had. House full of kids out here on this ridge by herself through the week, but around 1943, after the coal and timber started to sort of die out, he moved his family to Oak Ridge. During the Secret City, the efforts there at Oak Ridge were attracting a whole lot of people. So, and basically around the 1940s started the Great Migration of people out of here. So everybody left. It was supposed to be a family cemetery, but Archie's was the first grave, but then shortly thereafter everyone on the ridge moved away and left him. But now, starting in the late 1970s, you think about the hundreds of people that walk by here every day or every hiking season and stop and pay their respects. So reality is he's not alone anymore, the grave. When I was younger, I never went into these old secluded cemeteries, but as I got older and came to grips with my own mortality, I found that they were just a source of tremendous history of the area. Sad part is you saw a really high infant mortality rate, but the surprising thing was it seemed like once you got out of childhood, you stood a really good chance of living a good long life. You see folks in their 80s, some in their 90s in some of these remote cemeteries. So sad part again is all the graves of the infants But lots and lots of folks had good long lives up here. Falls Overlook. You can come in from Leatherwood. This is the trail, into the trail here. You turn back down to the right. Lots of little switchbacks through some overhangs, rock houses. Very nice little trail about the first mile or so. Then you get down to the bottom of the river. It's sort of mundane after that, but you could do a two people could do a shuttle, put your car at Leatherwood, another one up here at Archie Smith, and do the trail that way. Lots of good options. Then you got the Grand Gap Loop. It's a good bike trail. For me personally, wasn't a lot to see and just a walk in the woods, but it's still really nice for bikes. A few little small rock houses, nothing spectacular. Alright, here at the biggie, Angel Falls Overlook. Angel Falls is not really technically a falls, it's a class 3, oh that hurt, class 3 or 4 rapid down on Big South Fork. You can also walk to the rapids from Leatherwood. There's a trail that parallels the river. Well, after 30 years, it's still pretty spectacular. For those of you that have been here, you may know what I'm going to talk about. You won't see it with the camera, but there is one sign of human life up here. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. You can come out here and try to find it yourself, but look all around the gorge and you'll see one structure that's man-made. Well, I can see part of another, but if you know what it is, let me know. But other than that, you're not going to see anything resembling a structure that's man-made. And you're looking at probably one of the most photographed scenes in the Big South Fork, the bluff as it hangs out over the gorge. You just can't see anything from Big South Fork that doesn't have this particular scene in it. I always like hiking in the winter. Well, the obvious reasons: heat, snakes, bugs, but the other is that with the leaves off the trees, you get a much better view of the contour of the hills and mountains. Alrighty, literally right off the Grand Gap Loop Trail is a couple of structures. Got a rock house, decent little rock house. When I did this trail years ago, I typically just walked by them, never even stopped to look. Next one down here is called Angel Falls Arch. My hiking buddy Papaw wouldn't like this one because we don't have to crawl through briars and rhododendron to get here, so didn't leave any skin or blood for this one, so this will be civilized. And the reason they call it an arch, got a little echo. Alrighty, that's a nice little arch. Shame I walked by it so many times and never even took time to take a few minutes to walk up here. One of the benefits of getting older, you slow down and take everything in a little better. Alright, gonna head back and check a few more things out. American Chestnut Field Laboratory, story from years ago in my youth. Dad and I would be walking in the woods and see these massive stumps of trees, and I asked Dad what they were. He came from a sawmill background, and he said that was the American chestnut. He told me the story of how a blight killed them all out, and after the trees get so big, then the blight will kill them, and they've worked with seeds and trying to improve the genetics, and you can see some of the larger trees in the back, but very fascinating. I hope this project works. I was told that a lot of the old original cabins you see in these areas, the huge logs were chestnuts, and large boards in the barns, so it was a very, very valuable tree. The mast it provided for the wildlife, the timber for the cabins and barns. So hope this thing works. I hope someday you'll see chestnuts growing wild again. Time will tell. Never seen them this big. Hopefully they will continue to grow and prosper. Hope you enjoyed it. Going back in time a little bit for me, visiting an overlook haven't been to in decades, and story of little Archie Smith just always fascinated me about that grave, so I was glad to finally figure out the story of what really did happen. So hope you've enjoyed it. We'll talk to you later.